Hello, my name is Vusim Shaisa. I am a lecturer at the Department of Food Science and Technology at CPUT. Today I'm going to be talking to you about Bleekers, an interactive pedagogical tool that I use in my classes. This presentation I would discuss with you what is Bleekers and how does it work and how do I use it in my classes. Bleekers is an interactive tool that can be used in order to solicit student feedback as far as the material that has been covered in class, and also to provide formative feedback to the students. What you need to do first before you start, you need to sign up on the Bleekers website, and then from there you'd have an opportunity to add in your classes. So this is not limited only to one class. So if you've got various classes that you teach, in this case I teach at BTech, I also run some workshops at postgraduate level and also my classes at first year. And I would then create in questions that I want to pose to my students. What is the requirements from the students? The students are only required to have what we call the Plickers card. So these Plickers cards are paper-based cards that the students would then need. Each student would have an signed card which is unique to them. Here I've got 6 and then here I've got 5. So a student would then raise in the card and lift up the number or the alphabet that they think corresponds to the correct answer. In this example here, I've got a question, and then if the students think that the correct question is B, then they would lift up B to be on top. Then I would come with my mobile phone and then I would scan in their questions or their cards corresponding to the question that will be displayed. So, Bleekers have a maximum of 60 cards per class. So this is good for medium classes. So if I run medium classes which are around 40 to 60 students, I then use one set of cards. And then if I have large classes which is 63 students plus, I chose to come up with an idea to have 2 different color coded papers. The barcodes are still the same, it's just that they are printed in different colors so that I can be able to scan the first wave, which will be the green, and then the second wave, which will be the yellow. So as you can see here, the students in this picture are then answering the question that they see on the slide presentation, which is on the projector, which is projected on the wall. And then I come in and then I scan all their cards, and then this is what happens when you scan the cards. So in your mobile device, this is the screen that you'd get. So if it's green, it shows that the card is scanned. Sometimes if it's red, it shows that the card has already been scanned, and then the students will see on the screen on the projector if their number appears. If their number appears, it means that their card has been scanned. Just if I may go back to this slide, with regards to the questions, there are 2 types of questions that we get in Bleekers. We have the multiple choice questions, which you have a maximum of 4 options, and then you also have the survey type based questions that you can ask your students. So in this case, I have ran 2 sets of questions for my students on this day. It gives me Wednesday, 27 Feb, and then I can see with student number 2, which is guest number 2, for the MCQ, they got the answers correct, and thus their score is 100% here. If you look at here, they've got all the answers correct. And then if you look at here, these are survey based questions. So in the surveys they chose option D, and here they chose option C. So if you see something like this, it means these students did not participate or did not scan in these questions. So then I can have an overall participation rate, or where students understand most, is 93%, and then here it's 70%. So basically here you as a lecturer have an overview in terms of how the students are performing, and then you can be able to provide feedback to them. If you have smaller classes, you can be able to assign the guests, so you can change here and assign this guest one to a student. Then throughout the duration of the course, that student will then have that particular card, so you can issue them with the cards. In my case, I have chosen to laminate my cards so that I can be able to use them in different classes. From the side of the students, they only need to participate, they only need the cards. You as the lecturer are the one that needs to have the mobile phone. From the feedback that I've received from my students, they really like this type of an exercise. It also moves away from the tedious classes, which are mostly lecture centered, to a situation whereby the teaching and learning becomes student centered. Another option that you can also have is that instead of having the students, all of them having individual cards, you can also give them the cards as groups, where they discuss the answers that are projected first before they can then scan. We can only scan one card per group. So basically, this is how I use Plickers in my classes as an interactive pedagogical tool, and also to give students a formative feedback on their learning. Thank you very much for your time. This is the end of my presentation.